That one felt good, man. Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Wim Lou. You are listening to the Raptors Reaction podcast after the Raptors win 126 to 113 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, man. The only thing I would say badly about this game is that regrettably, our boy, the slander expert, Asad Alvi, has a bit of a migraine, so he's not able to join us. He's not able to join us because wow, we have finally hit slander pod criteria. So I might have to do a little bit of that heavy lifting on my own if I can. But man, that was a statement win, and I understand that the Cavs, second half of back to back, they're not playing like the Cavs were last year. What did the Cavs start last year? Like 18-2 or something? Like what I mean? Like this isn't that. Okay, the Cavs. I've watched a couple of their games. They've been whatever. But who cares, man? Like the Raptors have been. The Raptors have been one of the resurgent teams to start this year. This is clearly not Raptors of last year. Raptors are healthier. They're better. They've improved. They've changed the players. They've also brought in more talent. And again, the Raptors are 6-5 coming into this game. And I was really looking forward to this one. I was thinking about this one pretty much, all day, basically. I was thinking about it in the sense of like, okay, we've had a couple wins, but sometimes it's like, how excited can you get when you beat the Brooklyn Nets? How excited can you get to beat the Memphis Grizzlies, who are absolutely terrible this year? You know what I mean? I want to get really excited if the Raptors can come to Cleveland on the road and take a game against the Cavaliers, who should be one of the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. I mean, goddamn, the Cavaliers they're paying like, I mean, the Cavaliers owner got rich off mortgages. They got to sign one of those Donald Trump 50-year mortgages to pay the second apron for how expensive the Cavs are. But I'm not gonna lie to you. The most impressive thing I saw from the Cavaliers today was Donovan Mitchell being able to draw free throws. Wow, congratulations. Second apron to get some free throws. The Raptors made them look mediocre. But honestly, they're not mediocre. And that's what's impressive because man, this was a real test for the Raptors and they cooked them. And it was not an easy game. The Cavs came out strong. The Raptors needed to take care of their turnover issues. The Raptors then beat the Cavs and were taking the lead. The Cavs, being a good team, they adjusted. They played zone. They tried to throw different lineups at the Raptors. The Raptors had to then adjust. A couple bad plays go the Cavaliers' way. Again, Donovan Mitchell shooting like free throws every single time you look up. This game took twice as long as they needed to. 0.4 seconds off on the clock, and they inbound full court to Mitchell, who takes a turnaround three from half court, and they call that a foul as well. They went to the replay center more than any game should humanly need to go to the replay center. The Cavs got to single digits. The crowd is on their side, and a couple guys like Sam Merrill making some pretty big plays for them. And you're just like, okay, are the Raptors going to fold? And the Raptors just never folded, man. That was really, really impressive by this young Raptors team that is learning how to play through adversity and how to actually win. I mean, as far as like wins on the road is concerned, like when you think about going to Cleveland in the midst of a 5-game road trip, that's not an easy game. And by the way, the Cavs, they rested most of their key players in advance of this one. They had a back-to-back in Miami or 2 games in Miami. They lost one on some crazy buzzer beater. And then afterwards, they rested most of their key guys. So they didn't play Mitchell. They didn't play Mobley. And then you come to this game and they're like, okay, wait, are the Cavs resting up for the Raptors? I mean, not necessarily, but at the same time, they're like, okay, you know what? We're going to try to give them our best shot. They gave their best shot. It wasn't that good. Raptors were just straight up better in this one. And when I look up and down the roster, like I just feel a sense of beaming pride for the way the Raptors played. I mean, we can get to the slander part, but I mean, my focus first and foremost is always going to be on the Raptors. And I mean, where do you even start besides Scotty Barnes in this one, man? Scotty Barnes in this one, man. Man, these battles, man. Ever since he came into the league, him and Evan Mobley. I mean, to be honest, they've each had, their turn, back and forth. Scotty obviously won Rookie of the Year in year one. Then Scotty made the All-Star team before Evan did. But then Evan made the All-Star team. Then he made the All-NBA team. And I mean, he was Defensive Player of the Year last year. Kind of on a technicality, because of the fact that Victor was injured. But, okay, he wins Defensive Player of the Year, which actually I didn't mind because guess what? Now that triggers the Supermax in his contract, and that screws over the Cavs, financially. But you know what? Still, quality player. Except for in this one, I don't know, man. I mean, it's supposed to be Scotty Barnes versus Defensive Player of the Year, Scotty Barnes versus All NBA player, Scotty Barnes versus the internet's favorite player. Before everyone just like fawned over everything Amin Thompson did, they were like, oh my God, Evan Mobley, the next KG, the next Tim Duncan. Today, Evan Mobley, the next Ed Davis, 7 points, 9 rebounds, 2 of 7 from the field. I think one of the huge plays in this game was a sequence where, Scotty, I don't know how his energy was like this, but in this tough game that went back and forth, really physical and everything like that, Scotty had 2 plays where he ripped down the rebound, went the full length of the floor, and just beat everyone there and then just got in for a layup. Or he beat everyone down and he threw the assist to Jakob Poeltl. I'm like, beautiful, efficient basketball, aggressive, physical, but also the handle, the ability to sort of create the vision for himself, the strength to sort of finish. And then on the other end, the only play I remember from Evan in the fourth quarter was dribble. We'll take another dribble. Okay, maybe another dribble. Another 5 more dribbles going one-on-one against Jakob Poeltl. Okay, I've got, after 10 dribbles, I've got to a fadeaway in the middle of the paint. And Tim Duncan 2.0, Kevin Garnett 2.0, shoots it. What happens? Air ball. And the Cavs get 2 more chances at it. Tip. No chance. Raptors get the ball. Raptors score the other way again. And that was the story of the game, to be honest. Because, you can always say for the Raptors, okay, how much can the Raptors, with the amount of, outside shooting they have and how much they want to play around the basket, how much are they going to be able to affect a game where the other team has elite shot protection, right? Rim protection. You have Jared Allen in there. You have Evan Mobley, again, Defensive Player of the Year. He better be because he had 7 points. So it's like, how much are you going to be able to play your game? And when I watched this game, I'm like, yeah, it was difficult for the Raptors to get to the rim, but Raptors played tougher, more aggressive. They weren't getting the foul calls going to the rim. Donovan Mitchell, oh my God, he turned, he spinned. Oh my God, he ran through 2 guys and tripped. It's free throws, okay? But okay, on the other end, Raptors had to play tough, and the way Scotty played tough, the way Mamu played tough, the way Jakob Poeltl played tough. In the second half, you saw RJ Barrett, turn it around, and he had a couple of plays at the rim, getting to the foul line. Jamal Shead even took it strong to the cup in the fourth quarter. I thought that was great. Showing no fear. You know what I mean? Because Cleveland, for all the mediocre that I saw today, should be a very good team. That's the team that won 60+ games last year. You know what I mean? Regular season wise, this should be a great team. I'm not talking about anything about Cleveland in April or Cleveland in May, based on what we've seen in the last couple of years. We know what they look like in those months. But in November, that's Cleveland. November is tough place to go. And the Raptors, by the way, have gone there and beat them twice. Now the first game I wasn't this exuberant because a lot of guys were out. Mitchell was out. Allen was out. Garland was out, and he's out again in this one. He's just never healthy apparently. But still, Raptors came in here and just took it strong to them. And again, the effort in which Scottie Barnes played with tonight was, I don't know, it didn't feel personal. Because to be honest, I'm not necessarily looking at it okay, you know what, he sees Evan Mobley and he wants to cook him every time. Obviously there's a history there. The 2 of them played together at Team USA, and they've known each other. They're in the same draft class. These guys are friends. You know what I mean? They've known each other, but they're also friendly rivals and things like that. And, obviously they've gone directly in competition at certain moments, and they're probably going to do so for most of their careers because they're both going to be huge fixtures for their team in the Eastern Conference. But I think more than just that element of it, I just saw a player in Scottie Barnes who he just wanted to win so badly in this one, man. And him fighting for rebounds, him racing down the floor. There was a play where he got the rebound or he got the outlet and he pushed it up the floor. And then he found Jakob Poeltl with a laser pass, and Jakob was unable to finish the layup at the rim. Mobley was able to use his again Defensive Player of the Year award to affect the miss, so it was great. Then the Raptors got the rebound again, and Scottie Barnes once again raced it up the floor and then threw it up ahead. And this time he was able to feed Jakob for the dunk. It's just he's okay, the first time didn't work. Cool, I'll just do it again. I'll make the next play. Okay, you know what? It didn't really work out. The Cavs are going on a mini run. I'll take it to the rim myself. Okay, the Cavs are zoning us. I'll shoot from the mid range. Okay, the Cavs are killing us in half court defense, and other guys aren't going. Ingram had a tough game. RJ had a tough game. Okay, fine. I'll create in the half court. I'll make sure I can score 1-on-1. I'll again get every key rebound. I'll keep setting guys up. And then on the defensive end, again, you say what you want about, other players on another team making super maxes, But we got one steal, zero rebound or zero blocks in 34 and 47 seconds. In those exact 34 minutes and 34 seconds, Scotty Barnes gets a steal and 5 blocks. And again, the blocks from Scotty have been fantastic because they're just everywhere. You don't get 5 blocks if you're only at the rim, because Scotty's like chasing guys down from behind. Scotty's like making early rotations under the basket. He's catching guys by surprise. He's also on the perimeter blocking threes. I mean, there was a play where, again, Evan Mobley, who it kind of takes him like, a long time, because again, he's got his handful of awards. Everybody from the Ringer is saying that this is going to be like, basically the way they talk about you would think he's Wemby, but he's going up for the shot, and he's still going up for the shot, and he's still going up for the shot, and Scotty blocks him on the 3-point line and goes the other way. Like, the guy was a man possessed, man, and like a walking like momentum killer. Because again, the Cleveland Cavaliers, outside of number 4 from them, I think that they actually played a pretty tough game. Like, a lot of guys stepped up. Sam Merrill, who was off their bench? Tomlin, Nae'Qwan Tomlin. To be honest, I was not aware of Nae'Qwan Tomlin until this game, but he was everywhere. The athleticism, the energy, the activity on the glass. Like, they fought hard. Like, there was a real chance, to win this one if their Supermax player didn't play like Ed Davis. But actually, Ed Davis might be too generous. I think this was more like, this might have been like 2015 Tyler Hansbrough for the Raptors. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was like Hansbrough out there today. But like, they put themselves in a position. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell was in the position of the foul line 17 times. So he was shooting the ball like consistent. He was like at least getting, you're stopping the clock. You're shooting free throws. Obviously, he's going to make most of them. He's 16 out of 17, so he's going to do a great job of keeping his team in it. Allen is always tough. Merrill, I just thought his screening and his activity, even DeAndre Hunter, who has been like very important for them scoring wise this year, was getting them tough baskets. Like, they were right there. But again, like, every time the run stopped, Scotty made a contribution to sort of get it going again. And I just continue to be so impressed, because you think by the fourth quarter, like, everyone's tired. Like, man, this guy was like pushing like crazy. Like, he was just like busting ahead and scoring for himself or kicking it out for his teammates. And he wasn't deterred either. There was one play where I really like this too. There was a play where he went to the basket. He didn't get the call. He kind of threw his hands up in frustration a little bit. And Scotty can sometimes be a guy who complains to referees. But then Scotty was like halfway through complaining and hands up, and he literally put them down, and he raced back on defense. And I'm like, that's leadership right there. Because it's like, that like this game's going to be tough. The whistle might not be in your favor, but he just kept going, man. And I can't say enough about that type of leadership. But I mean, he wasn't the only guy who played great. I thought Immanuel Quickley was awesome in this one. IQ, who has had, strung together the last 3 games where he's been excellent. He was really, really important in the win against Atlanta in the NBA Cup game last Friday. And then in the Sixers game, I thought he was pretty good in that one too. The Nets game, he was like, again, like basically most of their scoring between him and Ingram. And then tonight, IQ goes for 25 points and like super efficient. This is the thing, like, yes, IQ was missing shots at the start of the season, and a lot of those were from 3. And obviously, the way he's aggressive from 3, if you're aggressive shooting an early 3 and he shoots the 3 like that, and he misses, and it's like, okay, then it's going to look like a really bad shot, and it's like, why aren't you like looking to set other guys up? But we also know that like part of the reason he's shooting these 3s is because he can do it, man. Who else on the Raptors can shoot from 35? This guy's off the dribble in transition, going full speed, stopping on a dime, and shooting from 35 feet. And he actually has that in his bag, because we've seen that last couple games where, like tonight, I think he made his deepest 3 of the game of the season, where I'm pretty sure it was like 32, 33 feet, like well below or above the 3-point line where he shot it. And yeah, he goes 10 of 13 from the field for those 25 points. And the thing is, like, I keep saying this, but teams are like really keying in on Ingram. Teams are really keying in on what Scotty can do. Teams are even keying in on what RJ Barrett can do. But then when you throw in the fact that you also have to account for Immanuel Quickley, who the last couple games has been the difference maker in terms of that relief, in terms of that offense. Okay, the Raptors are fighting like crazy down low, and a team like the Cavaliers, they're definitely going to be a team that is going to protect the paint. So where's your offense going to come from the perimeter? Well, IQ playing the pick and roll game with Jakob, getting into the mid range. I thought the floater game for him today was very good. He was very efficient with the way he was able to sort of pick his little spots, and again, just like played hide and seek with basically Jakob like screening everybody in sight. That's the biggest beneficiary of Jakob back in the lineup. Is the fact that he's activated IQ in that sort of weapon, especially off the pick and roll drives. But then also IQ's threes, IQ's mid-range pull-ups when they drop on the pick and roll, like just having a dynamic playmaker who can get it off the dribble, but also not have to live in the paint, just gives you another option. Because like, yes, the Cavs did a great job taking away RJ Barrett. They did a great job, being physical and taking away Brandon Ingram, limiting his touches, forcing him to shoot the three, which he's less comfortable with. Ingram's on a really, really cold streak from three right now. He'll bounce back too, and it's going to feel great when he normalizes. But in the meantime, while one guy's cold, you got your other guy who was cold, who's now suddenly red hot. And again, the fourth quarter scoring from IQ was massive. But also, speaking of the pick and roll game, Jakob Poeltl, man. Jakob Poeltl was sensational tonight. Another guy who started the season, obviously he had, let's see, he broke his face in training camp. I don't even know what happened. We tried to get to the bottom of it. He wouldn't say. But, one can guess that he probably got elbowed in the face or something. So he had to wear the mask to start the season. Then he had back spasm, and then he had to miss some time, and then he came back, and it took a little bit of time for him to get in rhythm. And as Darko says, there's one thing to be in the lineup. There's another thing to be fully healthy. And tonight, Jakob Poeltl reminding people, yeah, okay, I got the extension last year. Guess what? I was the Raptors' second best player last season. I deserve a freaking extension. And Jakob Poeltl, when he's healthy, when he's able to play in a game like this, not only do you have the type of size to counter against Cleveland, but I saw, and it's pretty rare it happens to Cleveland, but when the Cavs went to, Evan Mobley at the 5, Raptors took it to them at the basket. And Jakob Poeltl was a big aspect of that. Jakob tonight, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 7 of 10 shooting. And get this, for a man shooting one-handed free throws, one-handed, push shot, one hand in the air, 6 of 6 from the foul line for Jakob Poeltl. Who wants to go push per push in this league with Jakob Poeltl? Dare I say, the top 3 big men with the push shot in the league. Obviously, Jokic, number 1. There's just no one's even in. He's a league of his own. And then it's between Jakob and Isaiah Hartenstein, man. And Jakob tonight, man. Float game. It's funny because, like, it's so unorthodox, but it's so effective at the same time because there's a play where Scotty was backing down in the paint. And then I'm like, okay, he's drawing the second defender. He's got to kick out. And he kicks out like 5 feet to Jakob, who's standing just outside the paint. And Jakob's like, yeah, okay, push. How many centers of the league are comfortable just shooting that? You know what I mean? And and obviously that's not quote unquote ideal spacing. We've always talked about, what if it was a 3-point shooter out there and he could be in the corner like Miles Turner and shoot that long arcing brick that he always shoots. Yeah, look, you know what? It's actually kind of nice, too, because you get this interior play. You get his screening to get guys open. He's so unselfish. The way he attacked the glass, 3 offensive rebounds for Jakob tonight. Again, like just thoroughly winning the matchup against, Jared Allen, who has also made an all-star game. Kind of impressive. Everyone, the way you look at Cleveland's accolades, you would think this is a super team. I don't even think the Cavs 2016 team that went to that won the championship had this many all-stars. But yeah, Jared Allen 6 points tonight, 8 rebounds. We talk about what Scotty did, to Evan Mobley here tonight. What did Jakob Poeltl do to Jared Allen tonight, man? Jared Allen looking like an over the hill. Rasho Nesterovic or something. It just wasn't it, man. And again, like the physicality from Jakob, especially on the screens, like he's just creating that space to get guys to be open downhill. That was huge. And again, I'm not even done because the first half, the standout player for me in the first half was Jamal Shead, man. Jamal Shead was sensational. Jamal Shead in the first half, and again, like first half was when the Raps had trouble, right? Because like. I'm not even kidding. First quarter, Donovan Mitchell drew 2 fouls. Actually, no, RJ Barrett had 2 fouls. One was on trying to chase Sam Merrill. Another one was trying to chase Donovan Mitchell. But he drew a foul so RJ had 2 fouls. So then RJ had to go to the bench. Then Grady Dick comes in. Literally, he comes in for like 30 seconds. He picks up a foul against Donovan Mitchell. Then Darko decides, you know what, never mind. I'm going to take him out. I'm going to put in Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl comes in, fouls Donovan Mitchell. And it was just like, okay. And then Jamal Shead goes on him, fouls Donovan Mitchell. And I was just like, dude, what's going to happen in this game? Donovan Mitchell is going to literally foul out every single guard on the Raptors. But then when it settled in, it was like, okay, Jamal's going to be the assignment against Mitchell. And even though it's an odd one because obviously Jamal's your bench point guard and Donovan's the starter for the other team. So it's hard to like match up their minutes unless you're going to straight up bench somebody and flip the rotation. But number one, credit to Darko for, basically trying to flex and be creative as much as possible to get Jamal into the game against Mitchell. Number one, first off, like when you're planning for a game like this, you're not necessarily planning for your backup point guard to be the primary on-ball defender against the superstar on the other team, right? But Jamal did a great job against Mitchell. Mitchell was getting into the paint, and honestly, like, yes, he drew a ton of fouls, but like, I would say out of the 17, like it was skill, like, you know what I mean? Like I think at least like 14 of those were legitimate for me, like legitimately, like Raps were just, not able to stay in front of him. But when the Raptors did stay in front of him, outside of one time where Mitchell did his very cool move, basically the Dwayne Wade, like hard dribble, super high pickup over the top of the defender as he Euro steps and then goes in for the layup. Like outside of that, D Wade move that Mitchell has since made his signature, he wasn't really that effective inside the paint. But he was still getting to the foul line a ton. And I thought Jamal did a great job keeping him in front. Raptors also did a good job. Again, credit to Darko. Like towards the end of the first quarter, they started sending a hard double at Mitchell and forcing him to sort of swing it out. And obviously the Cavs have other, key 3-point shooters, but they just weren't that effective tonight. They were 10 of 41 from 3, so that was huge. Part of that was honestly just because Mitchell was 2 of 9 himself. It's not like, okay, Mitchell was, setting guys up and everyone was bricking. Like, no, like the Raptors did a great job scrambling and rotating. I thought the rotations were super, super crisp tonight for the most part. But again, there was that aspect. And then on the offensive end, Jamal is so underrated on the offensive end because all this guy does is touch the paint. He is touching the paint nonstop. Like this guy should work at Deluxe or something. This guy is legitimately just in the paint, and every single time he's setting guys up. Jamal was a huge part of a 9-0 run by the Raptors. It was 27-17 for the Cavaliers towards the end of the first quarter. And the Raptors, again, were struggling. Like a lot of guys weren't, playing that great. Jamal comes in and sparks a 9-0 run. And during that stretch, he draws a moving screen for a turnover, offensive foul on the other side. He attacks a closeout with a little quick killer crossover, gets into the paint, and then throws it down low to BI for a layup. Probably the only easy basket BI had all game. Then Jamal with a hard drive kick to Jamison Battle, who cut behind him for a little floater. Shouts to Jamison. Very small cameo, but he killed it. Jamison, he's the king of the cameo, man. Jamison Battle's in these games like DJ Khaled. He just yells, DJ. He just comes in, he's like, Jamison Battle, and then he disappears for the rest of the game, but it's like somehow very memorable. Shouts to Jamison. Yeah, and then Jamal banks in a 3 during that stretch as well. He had hit another 3 prior to that 9-0 run. Like, he just made so many plays in that stretch. And not only that, but then he also, in addition to being the central focus of a 9-0 run in the first quarter, which again got the Raptors from being down 10 to being in the game, and now it's like you're tight. Then to close the first half, the Raptors were able to go into halftime, I think with like a 8 or 9 point lead, because Jamal has 3 straight assists as part of a 7-0 run right at the end of the first quarter. Now, granted, you don't usually see Jamal closing halves, but in this situation, Darko decided, okay, I'm going to take RJ out. RJ was really struggling in this one to guard screens. He's just basically been in a malaise. The Nets game was really bad. This one was also pretty bad. So Darko switched it up. He put in Jamal to close in place of RJ. And again, Jamal sets up 3 straight plays. First place, the Cavs start using zone. It was towards the second quarter there. First play, Jamal puts it to Scotty in the middle of the zone. Scotty shoots a mid-range jumper, like very adaptable. By the way, Scotty's so confident with that mid-range, no hesitation, nothing. Like sometimes the zone throws people off, throws them off the rhythm. It's like if you're gonna leave Scotty open in the mid-range, Scotty loves that. He spent all of last season working on that mid-range, so he's like, no problem, confidently knocked down the mid-range. Next play down, Jamal drives hard into the paint, again touches the paint, and then he dumps it off to Jakob Poeltl, who obviously, finishes everything in the basket. Then Jamal's leading on the fast break. The Cavs are really back in transition, anticipating that the Raptors are going to go to the paint again. And this time Jamal throws a cross-court pass. He's on the left side of the floor. He throws it over like 3 defenders and probably a couple Raptors as well to IQ in the opposite wing. And IQ is able to just walk into a 3 and knock it down. And again, like those 2 sequences, 9-0, 7-0, both at the end of the first quarter and the second quarter, those were huge. Those are momentum swingers, man, because all of a sudden that puts the Cavaliers from being in the driver's seat to all of a sudden the Raptors got control. And of course, like other guys made great plays in that stretch. Sandro Mamakhalashvili was awesome in the first half, knocking down threes, going to the basket, blocking Dean Wade, trying to drive him at the basket. Grady, made a couple plays there as well. There were other good performances as well, but I just thought Jamal's energy in the first half just like literally wrestled it away from Cleveland. And in the second half, yes, Jamal was still in there. He was still making a couple more plays. He finishes tonight with 7 assists in 24 minutes off the bench, knocks down 2 threes. He does a plus 15, has 8 points. Like, he does a good job defending Mitchell. I mean, as good as you can. I mean, it's not like he's like shutting down Mitchell. Mitchell could still get a couple baskets against him, but for the most part, like at least not allowing Mitchell to get by him, because that was the issue. Mitchell was just getting by people. And then of course, once he gets by people, it's an automatic foul. But I thought Jamal's like contributions in that first half was so huge, because in the second half, once other guys got going, you didn't see as much Jamal, because at the end of the game, you might have even in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I go back to Jamal, right? Maybe I take RJ out, maybe I go back to Jamal. And Darko's like, you know what? I'm going to roll with RJ. I'm going to give him a chance. Just like in the Nets game, how, even though Jamal was playing better than him in that one as well, they gave RJ the chance to close out that game. And credit to RJ, stuck with it, played tough. Towards the end of the game, he came up with a couple of plays. A back cut going to the basket, a play where he drove into the paint and he finished. He got some free throws. He got a key rebound. He justified that decision, and he backed up Darko's trust. I think in the long run, like, you obviously don't want to like go all out and sort of like, actually, we're seeing some situations across the league where guys are getting alienated, right? Like, Doug Christie with the Kings, he like went all out before the game. He's like, if you're gonna play for this team, you got to put some pride in. And then they lost to the Hawks by like 30, and then and he's like, oh, I probably could have done better than some of these guys out there. It's like, obviously there's actually more than a couple teams on tilt, right? The Mavs are on tilt, the Grizzlies are definitely on tilt, like the Kings. So like those teams out there, exist, but I do think that like it is too early to pull the plug kind of on anybody. I think you kind of give them the run, you be situational with it, you be optimal. And honestly, this is how any workplace works. You give them trust because they work hard, and hopefully they deliver to then back up more trust that you put into these guys. And RJ had been playing really well until the last 2 games. Now he's been struggling. So you limit and you give, more time, especially in key moments, substitution wise, to some of the more important players on this team in these specific games. Like Jamal was way more important in this game, but you still give RJ that chance to redeem. And I thought RJ, the last couple of games has really like come on strong in the last 2-3 minutes to make a couple more plays. And again, that's when guys are tired. Okay, fine. RJ usually plays more minutes, usually has a bigger load than this. Okay, fine. He's been asked last shift of the game, you got more energy than everyone else. So you're actually at the basket, which is pretty rare at the end of games, especially when they're tight like this. So I thought that was good. I thought, honestly, even the decision, because like the last couple of games, I guess we haven't really seen 2 point guard lineups in a long time. I remember even in his first season, when Darko took over in 2023, he had Dennis Schroeder as the point guard, and then Malachi Flynn, right? So to be honest, part of the 2 point guard lineup is you need 2 good point guards. The Raptors had like kind of half a good point guard right there. So by the time IQ came in the midseason trade, there was a brief period where him and Dennis like overlapped for about a month, and you started to see a little bit of 2 point guard lineups, but then it kind of disappeared again. And again, like IQ was kind of the Raptors' only good point guard, and whatever. Like Malachi was was traded away. It just whatever. Like to be honest, Raptors have been hurting for point guard play. And then last season with the Raptors getting Jamal, which has been great, but IQ was out for most of the season. You didn't see a lot of 2 point guard lineups. This season, coming into the year, you're like, well, Raptors probably won't play a lot of 2 point guard lineups because Raptors have so many good shooting guards, okay? Like, you got RJ, Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Jamison Battle, Ochai, like, all these guys can play the 2. Why am I going to play 2 point guards, which kind of takes away the 2 for the most part. But the last couple games, starting in the Atlanta game, you saw some of these 2 point guard lineups, and I think it's been, like, really nice. I think partially it allows Quickley to, conserve a little bit of energy so he's not always the lone point guard out there. I think it also activates, like, especially a guy like if Scotty Barnes is out there with 2 point guards, he doesn't have to handle the ball much at all. So now Scotty can get into position. It's easier to get open off ball than it is to get open on the ball. I thought it kind of helped him on that front as well. And I think defensively, you make 2 point guard lineups work, and we saw this obviously for a long time in Toronto. It was like probably the best 2 point guard lineup in the league. But with Fred Lowry, with Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet, and the reason that worked, even though those guys were so small, was they were both tough as hell defensively. And I think I want IQ to get even better. I thought he was actually pretty good defensively in this one. Definitely not a minus in this one. Like, I thought he was good, solid. But Jamal being tough as hell, like, he could take on some of these assignments. And I think it's just such a nice luxury to have, because again, like, okay, the Raptors are actually healthy right now, and that's great. I mean, the only guys they missed today were Ochai Agbaji, who wasn't available, and then CMB was sick, so he wasn't able to play. But like, for the most part, like, the main guys are healthy, and you're seeing this benefit of like, okay, if guys are off, like RJ is off, you have someone to step up. Jamal stepped up for him. Last couple when IQ was off, don't worry, RJ stepped up for IQ. And now IQ's up. And then before it was like, okay, Jakob's out. Well, Sandro stepped up. CMB stepped up. And now he's back and CMB's out. Jakob's good. Like, that depth of quality of play is just really fun to watch. And again, like, the rotations, that's the thing. Like, defensively, you're always going to have to help. You're always going to have to help. Like, no matter what, a great defense or even a good defense still needs to help people, right? As much as you would love guys to be able to guard their matchups one-on-one, there's going to be breakdowns. There's going to be loose rebounds. There's going to be plays you got to hustle and get on the ball. And the type of hustle I saw today with, like, Scotty wrestling, Jared Allen, with, like, Jamal diving on the floor and taking a loose ball foul, but still diving on the floor to fight for rebounds. RJ, occasionally getting there and getting the crowd. I still want to see more toughness on the defensive rebounds from Jacoby in particular, Jacoby and Grady Dick in particular. I think those guys are huge. But I think even like Ingram today, I thought he got a couple of big contested defensive rebounds, and that's going to be needed because they need his size out there to clean up. I think that was huge. And then also just the rotations, man. Again, that play where Evan Mobley took 10 dribbles and shot an air ball. Like, yeah, some of that is because he's bagless. But, like, the other part is just, like, Raptors did a great job shutting down all the other options. And then even after they got a couple more rebounds, Raptors just kept hustling and rotating and hustling and rotating. Like, that was a beautiful, beautiful effort by the Raps. And by the end of the game, yeah, you had Mitchell still was a guy you were worried about. But even for him, like, he was mostly getting in semi-transition, and he's so opportunistic, and he's a great player. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a great player. But at the same time, you could also see it even wear down on him. I mean, end of the game, when I look at it, he got 7 turnovers. So overall, I just thought that, like, this was a really good win. And if you're gonna be like, I thought the Raptors are gonna be like probably like 44 wins, like a little bit above 500. But if you're gonna be even better than that, first off, there's an opportunity. The East sucks. Okay, I've been watching a lot of hoop. Western Conference basketball has just been real quality stuff. Like, I'll even watch the Pelicans just to see Derek Queen. I mean, the Pelicans are going to lose, but, like, I'll watch the Pelicans. They're fun. I mean, basically, the only teams in the West that are not fun to watch are Dallas and Sacramento. And even Sacramento's had some nice wins. Like, they beat the Bucks, for example. But I've been watching, a lot of basketball. I mean, whatever. Man who works in basketball watches basketball. Cool. But like, the West is real competitive, like, every single night, and it's really fun to watch. The East, first off, a lot of teams aren't fun to watch. Like, I'll just be straight up. A lot of teams are not fun to watch. They play some bad basketball, whatever. In terms of quality of basketball, in terms of, like, clear identity, they got a clear system. They have, like, depth in the roster. They have different players who can step up for them. Raptors are among, like, the upper half. I'll tell you that much. They're and I've pretty much watched every team in the East now to start the season. And, like, I would say the Magic are starting to turn it around. But they're also starting to face some injury issues. I would never really recommend watching the Magic. They're just kind of like a bully ball team. They're kind of like the Portland Trailblazers of the East. But, like, I don't even know. Chicago, I guess that they've been spreading the floor, but now they're injured. Like, I dare I say Raptors have been like a top 3 team to watch in the East to start the season. It's not just because they're 7-5 right now, but the way they play, the way they share the ball, the way they've been better and better and better defensively throughout the season, and the way they've sort of built it up, the way they had depth, because you could take away one guy and another guy pops up. Like, they've been fun, man. And honestly, a huge credit to Darko for doing that, because, he has been building this team up. Like, the way he inherited a fractured, broken team, and to the point where you're seeing healthy results. Again, like, the numbers speak for themselves. I had to write this down because it was so shocking to hear from Matt Devlin at the end of this game. But after the Raptors won, Matt says, "This is the first time the Raptors are 2 games over 500 since November 28th, 2022. The first time the Raptors are 2 games over 500 since November 28th, 2022. That's a really long time. Now, I think he might have meant 2023, but in any case, actually, I don't even know, to be honest. Maybe he didn't mean that. In any case, that's absurd, man. We've been in the trenches. We've been watching tanking basketball. We've been watching freaking, Mohamedou Gay, which I guess I was watching him wear number 4 for the Cavs today. But we've been watching Jonte Porter throw games, literally. We've been watching Jordan Wara. We've been, we've been watching Javon Freeman Liberty. My goodness, man. You know what I mean? We've been watching Jalen McDaniels. Just bad hoop. Even last year we were watching some bad hoop. We were watching tanking hoops, intentional tanking hoops. Bruce Brown dribbling the ball off his foot. We were watching Kelly Olynyk slowly disintegrate in front of our eyes. I'm sorry. This is a really nice reward, and I really want to cherish this. I'm really excited about the way they played, and I think the team should be super proud. But again, none of this is possible without the leader, man. And the way Scotty has, taken this team by the horns, again, inherited a tough situation, and he's taken it on. Bobby's talked so much about his improvements maturity-wise. Darko's talked so much about his improvements as a player, and there are still moments of doubt. I'll trust me. I've doubted. I'm not gonna pretend I've only ever believed in Scotty Barnes, face of the league type of guy. That's what I mean. I try to call it like I see it, and sometimes I doubt. You know what I mean? But man, when I see it, I saw it today, man. I saw it today. He's the best player in this game by a mile. He's best player on defense, best player on offense. And that impact, that energy, that physicality, that will that he injected into this team was fantastic to watch. So we're gonna take a quick break. You're gonna hear from our sponsor, and then we'll take some of your questions. I see a lot of people have already dropped money into the chat as well. We're gonna be here for a good time, guys. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's get to all of you guys.
This segment is presented by Table Fare and Social. Get your pregame bites and after-work drinks at Table. It's at a great location right across the street from Scotiabank Arena and just steps away from Union Station and the Metrolinx bus terminal. Will, what are we having at Table Fare and Social?
Well, they got one of our favorites in the city, Alouette.
Ooh.
And of course, Alouette. Incredible food.
The wedge salad?
The wedge salad, exactly. Imagine you're about to watch a Raptors game, you're about to watch a Leafs game, you're about to catch a concert at Scotiabank, and beforehand, we get together, get a couple of drinks at Alouette, get that salad. We're ready for anything, man.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of options at Table Fare and Social. This is your go-to spot. Next time you're off to a game, check out Table Fare and Social, a downtown food hall right across from the arena for some great pregame bites and drinks.
Okay, welcome back to the program. I appreciate you guys for leaving your comments and questions into the chat. I'm seeing some pretty good slander in here already. I appreciate it. Okay. I did my best to slander Evan. I think Evan's a very good player, but he's just, I just always bothered me the way he was talked about, man. I'm just just let me see it from him, man. It's a little too much for me, but yeah. And then of course, when he struggles, in this game, how could you, that was the reason the Cavs lost. It's not like Mitchell played bad. Mitchell could have played a lot better for sure. But they should have won this game, honestly. And part of the reason is because 4 was listen, 4 doesn't equal 4, you know what I mean? So okay, let's get to some of the questions. First off, I appreciate people for dropping the money in the chat. First one here from Danny: rested their best, but Raptors came through. You know what? Usually, I gotta say, Josh Tiven is usually one of the refs I have no issues with. I actually really enjoy watching the games that he referees. But I just thought he struggled in this one. Well, not struggled, but it was just kind of a frustrating game. I felt like a lot of borderline calls didn't go the Raptors' way. There was a challenge where Darko did use a challenge. And it was unsuccessful. So the Raptors, I think, are 2-5 on challenges on the year. Like, they got to be the worst team in the league in challenges. But like, the play like clearly showed that there was 2 fouls on the play. IQ, it was like an inbound play. IQ kind of grabs Merrill as he runs around a screen from Thomas Bryant. But then Thomas Bryant fully hip checks IQ off onto the ground, and it happened basically bang bang like that. So yes, and they did uphold the decision that it was a foul on IQ. So they gave Merrill the free throw, and then they also gave the Cavs the ball because it was before the ball was inbounded. But that was really frustrating because I'm like, dog, it's a clear foul. Like, Thomas is also like fully hip checking IQ. You know what I mean? So whatever. Yeah, refs. Yeah, it was definitely frustrating watching a bit of this game. To be honest, the Cavs did shoot a lot of free throws, but 26 free throws isn't even that many. One thing I want to highlight too is the Raptors. The last 2 games. Last game, I think the Raptors won like 30 or 31 from the foul line. Today, they won 16 or 17. Both games, they only missed 1 free throw. Like, that's huge. These games are close. You're on the road, and whatever. The Nets is whatever. The Raptors are always going to be the Nets. But like, man, you needed the free throws in this one, and it was a real nice effort to see. IQ. I guess RJ was the only guy who missed a free throw. So he was the guy today. But Scotty going 3 for 3, Jakob going 6 for 6, Sandro going 3 of 3. Like, I guess the Raptors didn't shoot that many free throws, so I'm not that impressed. But still, like, pretty important thing. Pretty important thing. Tyler Mackey says it's $7. Will slander on Mobley always feels personal. I love it. Scotty with an all NBA / all defensive level game. Really nice win. That Mamu pass, though. Yeah, I mean, first off, shouts to Mamu. I don't know if he got enough love in this one, but Mamu is just, he's so nice, man. Like, the fact that he can also rip and push in transition, I think is absolutely massive. He's been confident with the 3. He's not forcing them too much, but, he is obviously a great outlet option. The fact that he can play like a wing, he can also duck in for a couple baskets. And then he's just also crafty and nice. You know what I mean? Like, the lefty aspect of it. Actually, I went back because during halftime, I actually listened back to the interview that we did with Sandro one-on-one. We basically got like permission to have 5 minutes with Sandro. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to blitz you with 10 rapid fire questions. And one of the questions I asked him was like, who was your favorite player growing up? And I actually, usually when you hear this, you're like, okay, LeBron, Kobe, I mean, MJ, if you're like Garrett Temple's age or whatever. But like, Sandro gave a cool answer. He's like, his favorite player growing up was Toni Kukoc, which obviously another European player, but another big forward lefty who could kind of do a little bit of everything. And I was like, you know what? That's a really cool one, man. Because, I mean, Kukoc was more of a guard, and Sandro obviously plays more as a big, but, some similarities. And, like, again, like 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 or 5 shooting, 2 or 3 from 3, 3 or 3 with a really slick pass in there. Like, not bad. Not bad for bench Kukoc, man. That was pretty nice. Will slander Mobley feels personal. Look, I just think that, like, and honestly, like, I can even cop to some of this. Like, maybe we have to be more effusive on this program for how good Scotty is. I think it's when he's had a great game. So I don't know if we've ever been like not excited about it, but I just find like the national conversation around Mobley to just be like, I feel like I'm like getting gaslit or something. Like, there's no way that it is what it is, man. And they're always every year they're like, oh, we're gonna give him more of the offense. I'm like, for what, man? Like, for what? Seriously, for what? Like, so he could be Jaren Jackson 2.0? Like, that's cool, man. That's cool. Like, I don't want to hand him the offense. Like, first off, if I were a Cavs fan, I'd be tearing my hair out. Clearly, my 2 best offensive players are Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland when he's healthy. So it's like, play through those guys. Like, what is this weird agenda we always got? Anyway, and yeah, I mean, again, he's got every accolade in the book. Congratulations to him, man. He's a very good player. Championship team, he could be a number 3 guy. Actually, on a Cavs team right now, that's like the most expensive team in the league, basically. I guess that was the Suns. Maybe it's the Cavs now. It might be the Cavs because the Cavs are only second apron team. Like, first off, no one even the Cavs are this expensive. No one even expects the Cavs to win the championship. Like, I'm not being like, oh, this is going to be a winning a championship type of team. But like, even on that team, like, Evan's going to be like, he's not even the third best. He's the third best player for them right now, and he's still not like, you know what I mean, like, best player. Because again, the guy gets compared to KG and Tim Duncan. I'm like, bro, I was there. I watched those guys, man. Those guys are like next level, consistent every night type of things. Like, I don't see that. I'm sorry, I don't. Will has the crack of Simply Spike to complete the slander pod. Unfortunately, I ran out, man. So shouts to Simply. Come back on the program anytime. The crowd loved you. We loved you as well. And just send me some more cases, man. Jenny was a fan. You could tell by the ads. I was really enjoying those. So we talked earlier about which teams are actually fun to watch. A good call here by Syrup22_4. Heat and the Raptors are the best teams in the East this season. Honestly, to watch at the start of the season, I agree with you. The Knicks are like still the Knicks. Like I don't know, they're still okay to watch. Like they're not terrible, but they're not great either. They're just the Knicks, you know. Like I'm watching for the talent. I'm watching for OG moments. You know, Cat actually kind of annoys me a little bit, but whatever. I mean, Cat's good. Brunson obviously is the reason to watch them. But yeah, like the Heat have been really fun to watch. Again, last Heat game I watched was Heat versus Cavs, which was an instant classic. That was very, very fun. Yeah, they've been super tough. I'm actually really curious to see how the Raptors would do against the Heat, to be honest. Because they're both identical at 7-5 right now on the season. Yeah, so yeah, honestly, to start the early season, I mean, unless I'm missing somebody in the Eastern Conference, like Chicago, I think someone mentioned here, Chicago has been decent. I agree, like Chicago has been decent, but you know, I'm still not gonna go out of my way to watch like, what am I gonna watch, man? Josh Giddey hoops? Like, I don't know about that, like, you know, but yeah, Knicks, Bulls, Magic. Magic have been better. The last couple games they turned it around a little bit. Last game I watched a little bit. I think they beat the Knicks last night. That's been kind of fun. The Magic are always better when they have a guy injured. Like it's been the pattern for the last couple seasons. So yeah. Sandro, one of the best free agent acquisitions for the Raps. I mean, the competition is low. At one point I was like, Otto Porter? We got Otto Porter? Oh my god, what an incredible get. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like you know, Dennis Schroeder was honestly not bad. Like he I mean, this is the thing with Dennis Schroeder. He came in and he played like Dennis Schroeder. Like, what are you gonna expect from this guy? More than what he did? Like, this Dennis Schroeder, you know what I mean? Like, he came in and was exactly who you thought he was. It wasn't what the Raptors needed at that time, so they moved on, whatever, right? But like free agent signings, like we've struggled, man. Like Bismack Biyombo was great for a season. Who has been good? I mean, Corey Joseph was a pretty good. I mean, that was technically signed in trade, but obviously he wanted to come to Toronto. We signed him. He was like a pretty steady backup point guard for us. Shouts to Corey, we're in the 6. I don't know, man. You got to go back, like Anthony Parker from the EuroLeague, or like Jorge Garbajosa from the EuroLeague. Like, you know, we don't have a big history of signing a fresh free agent and adding them to the team and them working out. And Mamu, the way he's going right now, I mean, yeah, he's in line for being the best one. But I have also said this many times about a couple different players, so I appreciate it too, man. Yeah. Cavs pushing all the chips in this season, right for an upset early exit. I mean, yo, that's been the Cavs every year. Like, you wouldn't even be surprised if the Cavs flamed out in the playoffs again, because it's like that's what they do. Like, they're like the freaking Tottenham Hotspurs, man. No offense, you know what I mean? No offense to all Spurs fans out there. I know Liverpool's not having a great season, so I'm not gonna talk shit, but I think we're still above Tottenham at least. But like, no, like this is they're not it. You know what I mean? They're not even that fun to watch. That's the thing too. It's like, at least like give me a good time before you flame out. You know what I mean? They don't even give me a good time. Yeah, if Mobley was that great, he wouldn't need Allen to hold down the 5. Exactly. Like you saw there during stretches where they went one big, and all of a sudden they look super exposed. Jakob scoring at the rim, Scotty going to the basket. Again, yo, even freaking Jamal Shead going in there for a basket. I'll love to Jamal, but like, bro, this guy just went in for a layup and they didn't even stop him. I'm like, what? I thought this was supposed to be good defense, man. So, can we give it a shout out for Garrett Temple getting minutes? Wait, did he get in the game at the end? Yo, wait, did Garrett Temple get in this game? How did I miss this? Yo, Garrett Temple got a minute and 34 seconds. Let's go. Oh, man. Oh, yo, salute to Onk, man. Unbelievable. Yo, Raptors are running the conga line against the Cavaliers tonight. Yo, the whole conga line played. Garrett Temple, Jameson Battle, Sandro, Jamal Shead, Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick. Yo, they were dancing it up in Cleveland, man. That's tough as hell, yo. Oh, that's sick. That's actually so sick, man. I'm so happy. Oh, the Pistons. Yes. The Pistons. Yes, absolutely. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, I knew I was missing a team. Pistons have been super fun to watch. Super impressive. Last night, I don't think they had Cade, and they still won the game, like, pretty comfortably, too. Like, they have, like, random guys. Like, do you know about Dennis Jenkins? He's been coming in. He hit that like game tying 3 to force overtime. I mean, it was against the Wizards, but it was actually a really, really fun game. Like, yeah, the Pistons have been excellent. Jalen Duren's like early All-Star. I mean, Jalen Duren plays tougher than Evan Mobley, man. Like, I mean, whatever. Whatever. Well, who cares about Evan Mobley that much? Nesta asks, can we hear Will's thoughts on Bradley Beal's injury? Will he get a contract ever again? I don't know about that. I mean, I think he'll get another minimum. I think the big issue with him was the contract was so prohibitive. But I mean, I'm hoping for him. Like, he's not that old, right? Like, Bradley Beal's like 32, maybe. Hold on. Bradley Beal age. Yeah, he's 32. Wow, he's younger than me? Okay, yeah, so wow, wow. Finding out in real time that you're an unk. Oh man. So Bradley Beal is a 1993 kid. So like, yeah, no, he's still gonna get a chance in the NBA. He's just gotta get healthy. I really want him to get healthy. To be honest, I actually really liked watching Bradley Beal. I know he tormented the Raptors a little bit. He talked a little trash, but I thought I always liked watching his game. Like it makes me a little sad that he's kind of washed like this right now, but he'll get another chance once he's healthy again. So Devin says, question, I've enjoyed the film room breakdowns from you, Will. Are you going to clip some plays from this big dub? Great content for the fans. Yeah, absolutely, actually. I think, well, okay, so the tough thing is tomorrow we have, we got to do, we have like an NBA six-pack plan, and we have basically the whole episode planned out, so we're going to do that. And then I probably would give you a 10 plays breakdown, but I have to speak at some conference tomorrow, so I don't know if I actually have time in the day to actually go through that. Maybe I'll try to comb through some plays tonight and maybe record it and we can upload or something. But I don't know. Timing-wise, it'll be a little tough. But I appreciate you guys for watching those. The 10 plays have been really fun. To be honest, we can't monetize any of the videos that we get or that we use because if you use NBA footage, it's obviously we don't have licensing rights. So we can keep them up on the channel. We just obviously can't monetize them. But that's not even important. To be honest, the reason I'm doing those is because I just get really excited after wins. And I want to show you some big plays in those games. Jamie says Cade and Scotty are the only bus drivers from the 2021 draft. Well, hey, hold on. Alperen Sengun is a bus driver as well, okay? So we got 3 of them. Guys. But, you know what I mean? Like, Franz Wagner sometimes drives, occasional bus driver. Evan Mobley, semi-occasional bus driver. Like he's not really a bus. Like, it's like a Sprinter van type of thing. He's driving Sprinter vans, you know what I mean? Like, driving those like delivery trucks a little bit, so yeah. Who else, man? I mean, I'm seeing some of the responses to the best free agents in Raptors history. Yeah, Garbo and Parker. He's speaking my language. Yo, if you guys weren't around, if you guys didn't understand how exciting 2006, 2007 was. If you guys ever go in that arena and you're like, why is that banner say Atlantic Division and like 06, 07? Like, what happened in that year? Trust me, you missed out on a great time. Jose Calderon, TJ Ford, actually, shouts to Rasho Nesterovic. I don't even know why I compared you to Evan Mobley. I love you, Rasho. But Bargnani, Chris Bosh, obviously, Anthony Parker, Mo Pete. I mean, I think Joey Graham might have still been part of those teams, actually. So salute to Joey, I suppose. Who else? Oh yeah, Garbo, of course. Garbo Hosa. Like that was a real fun. That was actually a really, really fun season, man. Sam Mitchell always wearing those little, those Stringer Bell glasses. Like, I love that. I love that season, man. Yeah, Garbo Hosa was epic until the leg break, and that is one injury I do not want people to ever look up. Do not look up that injury. So, yeah, shouts to the conga line. The conga has been so fun, man. How many minutes would Temple have in the over-under for the season and get a bonus? I mean, look, Garrett does a big job for this team. I think first off, there's not a lot of players in the league that are just like willing to be vets and are happy to sort of, just not play and contribute. The way he's like prepares for every game, like at first I felt a little bad because sometimes I'll be like, why is he like making like 3 assistant coaches work out with him before the game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not even gonna play. But I was like, you know what? He's just setting an example for the guys. You know what I mean? And like, that's the thing. He's always setting an example. Like at the end of practices, the last couple of times I've been going in, you get into practice and you see the Raptors playing one-on-one in the back, like just king of the court. And I'm like, oh, Garrett Temple's always in these. And like, whatever. Is he getting cooked by IQ? Is he getting cooked by Scotty Barnes? You know what I mean? Yeah, of course. But like, this is this thing. Like, he's there to sort of set the standard. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have any excuse if you're not working at least as hard as him. And if you're telling me that he's bringing up the denominator for the team, that's valuable. And also, he's just a great dude, man. Shouts to Garrett Temple, man. He's always got his kid running around, super adorable. Garrett Temple also showing love to his wife all the time on Instagram. Very, 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 very good. I highly recommend following Garrett Temple and even his wife. Some very, very cute content by the two of those guys. What's up with Hanson Yang? He barely plays. Unfortunately, the intel I got from that is not great. Seems like he's really got a. How would I say this? His biggest issue is he picked up a freshman 15, basically. If you understand, when people from high school go to university for the first time and they develop some bad habits, indulge a little bit, no parental guidance, develop some bad habits, struggle a little bit. I think, hopefully he gets over that and he's fine, because he was very exciting, but that was, that's disappointing, man. that's really, really was disappointing. But yeah, the big issue is freshman 15 for sure. What else we got? Yeah, American diet killing. Yeah. You know what? Portland does have really good food, actually. So salute to, I've been to Portland. Portland was a really, really good time. They're really beautiful on the coast. If you go to Portland, obviously, like, the city itself is cool. Powell's Bookshop, a couple really, really nice coffee shops, restaurants. Japanese Garden was really cool to go to as well. But the big thing is you got to make the drive. Either you go drive north to like one of the mountains over there, like basically between the Oregon and Washington border. The scenery there is incredible. Or you can drive south. Actually, not even south. Like, if you just drive to the coast, like if you drive west, it's like, I think it's about half an hour, because Portland's like a little bit inland. If you go to the water there, Cannon Beach is phenomenal, man. Cannon Beach is just like was one of the most beautiful trips I've ever been on. So shouts to Voodoo Donuts. Yeah, they have some great donuts out there too, man. Honestly, Portland's a fun place, man. But yeah, stop eating Voodoo Donuts, man. No malatong to make Yang sweat it out. Actually, there is like a decent amount of Chinese food, Japanese food over there as well. A lot of Asians on the West Coast. No big surprise here. Champagne Papu, yo, where you been at, Champagne? The MVP of this chat the last couple of weeks. Just Champagne. What's up, Papu? Says, I think this team can be so elite with a balanced roster with a young big in the pipeline like Lively. Yeah, I mean, I look at this team and, like, if they had a shot blocking presence with a second unit, I think it would really help. Obviously, I think there is a fair point to be made. I think I said this in the last episode too, but you bring a big into this, you do shift Sandro a little bit down, you shift CMB a little bit down. Are they able to be as effective? Because, like, basically this, like, Mamu's game really works well against fives, but can it work as well against wings? TBD. And same thing for Colin. It is kind of easier to play against fives, I feel, especially for these skilled smaller players who are kind of tweeners. But yeah, like, another young big to this group, I think, would really, really help them a ton. And hopefully some of them are available. So, another one from Champagne. I'm a big Quickley guy. I know we overpaid him, but I think it's unfair to criticize him for that contract. It's not like he forced the Raptors to offer him $35 million. He's elite for what he brings. I think it's just, okay, so overpay, whatever, right? Like, I think part of that is just, I don't even know who else was in that much competition. Like, okay, so if you offer him, first off, he signed for 32.5, so not 35, but whatever. Like, the point is there. It's like, does that mean that, like, was there a team out there that's been like, yo, I'll give you 30? You know what I mean? Like, because if you're doing if you're trying to price it in, it's like, okay, he was restricted, but the Raptors didn't really tell him, like, hey, go out there and find an offer and then we'll match it, which is, like, totally within your right as a restricted guy. Raptors didn't even allow that to happen. They were like, nope, we're gonna keep it for 5 years, first off, and second of all, we're gonna give you like 32.5 flat right off the bat, expecting him to make this type of jump. Now, I think he has made the jump, based on, he's a better player than he was in New York. I actually just interviewed Quickley. You can listen to that interview, and I asked him that specific question of, like, how did your life change coming to New York? How did your game change coming from New York? And he talked a lot about sort of how much he matured, and he felt like he was a kid in New York, and now he's, like, growing into like a young man, which makes me very proud to hear. But, like, I also think that, like, it's pretty different, the type of systems that he's been in. They've also changed his role here or there. They've challenged him in many ways, and along the way, though, they've only ever expressed confidence, like, obviously publicly, but even privately. Like, sometimes I'll check in with, like, front office guys and be like, what do you think of the guys? Like, they always back Quickley. You know what I mean? They're not like effusive. They're not like trying to sell me on him, but like they're like, no, we know what he can do. Like even to start the season, I was like, okay, he's what's happening with Quick. I'm gonna interview him, like what's going on with him, and they were like, what do you mean? Like he's just missing shots. And the last couple of games, like part of the reason why his performance has come back around. I mean, yes, it helps to have Jakob and create the space because I think Quickley's one of the issues with Quick is just that he doesn't really beat guys one-on-one that much. And he kind of usually needs a screen to sort of get that separation from a guy. And then once he gets into little pockets and gaps, then he becomes really slippery with the low floater. And, the kickouts have actually been pretty good from him. The passing, I've really not had too much issue with the way Quick has distributed the ball. Today, 6 assists against 2 turnovers. Like, I'm fine with that. Especially for a guy who doesn't have the ball that much for a point guard. But, like, yeah, like, the way he is able to sort of, like, get into those little pockets is huge. But the biggest thing with Quick is the threes. And sometimes, like, sometimes like, when I look at him, like, shooting the really aggressive threes, I'm like, is that just to, like, hit your quota? Because, like, Raptors have been, like, pretty much on him. Like, we want 10 threes, we want 10 threes, we want 10 threes. Sometimes I might even back off of that and say, like, yo, it'd be nice if you got to 10 threes, but I want 7 quality threes. Like the way Quick shot tonight, that's the threes, I'm not upset with. Like some of them were aggressive, some of them were wide open. Like there's the play where Mamu saved a loose ball in transition and kicked it out to Quickley, and he had like all the time in the world. He knocked that down. Like those obviously are like really quality shots versus like when he's like pulling up from 35 and pushing it, momentum swings. But like yeah, like I don't even know if I put the Kargan on 10. To be honest, like the Raptors have shown they can succeed with or without the 3-point shot, man. And so especially the type of threes where it throws off your floor balance, like I don't think those are necessarily good shots. Even if they make it, you're kind of gambling, like, you know what I mean? You're gambling on, that's like winning a hand in blackjack when you only have like 13. It's totally doable, like the dealer busts or whatever, but like it's still not great process to like stay on 13, for example. So CMB didn't even play. We're kind of deep. Yeah, I mean that's what these wins keep showing us. Is like depth is not just like who's available, who's not available. It's like who's on and who's not on. Like what a great luxury today to be like, okay, Brandon Ingram was not on and he's been in a funk. RJ's been in a funk. Those 2 guys were hot, like super hot to start. Fine, that's cool. Like we'll just other guys step up. You know what I mean? And like that's the value of a team. And honestly, for Raptors, like, yes, they're young and they're unproven in terms of results outside of like this first 12 games where they're 7-5. But the other thing too is like, okay, at least on paper, and this is the case that I know a lot of us locally were making. Obviously, if you listen to a lot of the national coverage for the Raptors, like from the States and the wider podcasts like Simmons or Zach Lowe, they're always like, yeah, the Raptors confusing mess, like whatever, blah blah blah. But I'm like, okay, but like if we just separate it a little bit, like if we just look at the names on paper, that's not bad. Like it's not bad, right? Like you'd have to really not believe in some of these guys because like, Ingram's a former All-Star in this league. Scottie Barnes made an All-Star team, like obviously he's a very, very good 2-way player. RJ Barrett, say what you want, but can we at least look at the numbers? Like he's been more efficient as a Raptor. IQ, like people used to be super excited about. I remember IQ was one of the most hyped players in the league when he was with the Knicks. They were always like, I remember even at that time, like when the Raptors were trading, we used to do segments about this. Like, okay, Raptors are going to trade, we're going to trade Pascal, we're going to trade OG. Like, who we're going to look for? Like, one of the clear targets was IQ. Was like, okay, we need a point guard of the future, and this looked like a great young point guard for the future. You know what I mean? Like, so you look at that, like, that's not bad. Jakob Poeltl was like totally serviceable. You know what I mean? And like, whatever. Like, no one was coming out there like we weren't like, oh, respect us as like a 50-win team in the East or anything like that. We weren't even saying that. We were just like, yo, we're not that bad. But everyone was just like, nah, this team sucks. I'm like, okay. Even if you just conclude based on like the talent on paper, like I don't think that's true. You know what I mean? Like as long as the Raptors stay healthy, if they have any sort of coherent system where they work together, which they clearly do, they're not going to be bad. And by the way, like that's not even counting the fact that a lot of this, the young players in the team are slowly getting better and growing. Like Jamal being a huge piece of all that. So, and then of course Sandro comes out of nowhere. I mean, shouts to Sandro, but. Johnson says we'll need a Hanson Yang night for Asian Heritage Night. Yo, Shanson, when you come for Asian Heritage Night, I'll meet you at Bing's. The new location is open up at Union Station. Unfortunately, Shanghai 360, we got to push you off to the side. Okay, 360, you've held me down for like 4 or 5 years at the games, but now it's time for Bing's. That's Bing with a Z at the end. Yeah, man. Hanson, let's go to Bing's together. Let's get the Bang Bang noodles. Let's get the Rogan Moore. Like just the whole menu has been pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. We went there the last 2 games and we've really, really enjoyed it. And by we, I mean me and my Chinese friends at the game, which are not actually Jerome and Alex. It's actually Jeremy and Marshall. Shouts to Jeremy and Marshall. That's right. I found 2 more Chinese people to rope into my crew at games. Fully replaced my boys. We have in the game friends and out of the game friends. Charlie V. No, Charlie V wasn't. Charlie V. We didn't sign Charlie V. I'm pretty sure we traded for Charlie V. Right? Like we traded. Who did we trade for Charlie V? Why are you blanking on this? No, we drafted Charlie V, and then we traded Charlie V for TJ Ford, I believe, to get him from the Bucks. But yeah, we drafted Charlie V. Shouts to Charlie V though. I don't know if people know this, but Charlie V had a 48-point game. That was the career high. Well, it's the most points ever by any Raptors rookie. I don't think a Raptors rookie's even come close. I think Scotty might have the second highest, or maybe Vince from back in the day, or maybe even Damon. But yeah, Charlie V had 48 points, man. Shouts to Charlie V. I think the Raptors might have lost that one, to be honest. Let's take a couple more. AJ Lawson is an NBA rotation player. What's the deal? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know people aren't necessarily like paying attention to the 905 as much, but I'm here to tell you the 905 have also been cooking. That pressure defense, like if you liked what the Raptors did in Summer League, that's what the 905 have been doing to everybody. Like, what was the stat? I think Blake had it. Hold on. And of course, no one pays more attention to 905 than Blake. Actually, that's shouts to S. Shouts to Lindsay as well. Lindsay's been doing sideline and with S for the 905 games as well, especially the ones in Toronto. Obviously, they're not traveling with the team. Yes, it was Blake who tweeted this. Blake says, Raptors 905 have allowed 94, 92, and 75 points this season, when the league average so far is 116. You understand? They're allowing like 30 points below average on the defensive end. But that's incredible. And obviously a lot of that is based on the aggressive defense by the whole team. But Chucky Hepburn has been great. Elijah Martin has been great, knocking down shots, making tough baskets, bringing a lot of personality to the team. But AJ Lawson, last game I think he went for like 36. Like, I mean, we know AJ's like a little too good for the G League. He's been cooking G League wise for the last like 3 years now. And obviously when he came to the Raps, he was still doing well. But I think this is just sometimes you see these little signs, right? Like, what's that analogy that was made about frogs in the environment? They're always like, when the frog is struggling, it's a real sign that the entire ecosystem is struggling, because like they sit at the nexus of so many different organisms. Like they interact with everybody. You know what I mean? It's like frogs like everybody's friends. So like when the frog's sad, that means like the community's probably sad. And like sometimes I looked at it like, okay, yeah, when the Raptors are struggling, like not only were the Raptors struggling, but even the 905 was struggling. Like 905 has always been like a very good team, like ever since they brought into the league. Actually, I was just in Paramount 5 Center like earlier today. I was in Mississauga, and I got to, I mean, whatever, we're planning something, but we can't say just yet. But I was like looking up at the banners, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, we won the division like 3 years in a row. And there's the championship banner, the year where Fred and Pascal went down there, and they won it with Bruno Caboclo. Shouts to Bruno as well. But like 905 has been like a consistently good source of talent, and I think it's like a good sign of a front office where, okay, fine, yeah, you only have like 15/18 players with the two ways. You only have like a limited number of spots in your major roster. But if you're healthy, like when the Raptors were like really, really good in their like 2016 or 2014 to like 2020 era, like not only was the team good with lots of good prospects, but even the G League was good. You know what I mean? And like we're starting to see that again, where the G League is starting to be really good. Like there's a lot of guys on there that could play in the NBA right now. David Roddy, I think he's been nice too. I mean, he can do something. Olivier Sarr used to be a player in this league too. So like it's shouts to the. I just think it's like a good sign of good management is like if you also have a good G League team. Yosef says interview was great, by the way. Quickley was so chill, and I think he hates the media. I don't think IQ hates the media. I just think it was just awkward because the last time I saw IQ in person, he came over to the press conference or the scrum, right? It was just a bunch of reporters gathered around, and like for 5 minutes, every question was, "Why do you suck?" Basically, it's like different versions of like, "Yo, why do you suck?" You're like, "Why can't you shoot threes? Why can't you hit free mid range? Why are you not defending? Why can't you pass?" Like it was so like those situations are awkward. But I feel IQ to generally be a pretty positive guy to deal with. He can be a little serious, but I mean that's most athletes have this like really serious veneer sometimes they put on. Grady sometimes does the same thing too, but No, I think in general, I actually don't find IQ to be like one of these guys that are like struggle with, well, not struggle, but like get annoyed at media. I also think that like he doesn't really get requested that often, to be honest. So Frisbee Bud, who I think sent in $7 earlier, so I appreciate you, Frisbee Bud. Shouts to all my friends who play Frisbee. Love Frisbee. If you can make a trade package for a rim protecting big, who would you trade and who would you trade for? Off the top of my head, I'd like to Ochai for Go. I mean, Goga Batadze would be kind of fun. I think he would fit a lot of what the Raptors want to do. He's like decently mobile, 4-7 footer, and I think Orlando just has so many bigs. I mean, he's in the rotation right now, but I think the healthier they get, I think they might have games where they don't play him. I think it's like reasonably attainable. Who else have I liked? I mean, I've liked Nae'Qwan Kongwu for a while too. He's not that big. I guess he's like 6'9". I mean, he starts for them, so like it's hard. They don't, but yeah, even him, like it will be decent. Day'Ron Sharpe, that was mentioned. Day'Ron, I don't, to be honest, I can't profess to say I've watched that many Nets games, and the ones where the Raptors played them, I'm not that impressed by Day'Ron Sharpe, but certainly a very physical, bulky player who could take up space and rebound the ball. And yeah, I mean, the trade assets on the Raptors, there's not that many, but again, a lot of them probably will involve Ochai. So you're probably looking for players who make like in that $6 million, $7 million range. Liban, what up, Liban? Question: are we saying goodbye to Darren Peterson and AJ DeBanza for now? Yo, Liban, I know you want the Raps to tank. I know you want the Raps to tank, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm unfortunately, I regret to inform you that you should make your plans free for April. Okay, all right. We'll be covering some play-in tournament games, or even better than that, we'll cover some playoff games. So, Liban, I know you have these dreams of the 2026 draft class. It looks really good. Every day I go on that app and I see like, oh man, like Cam Boozer just did this, and Darren Peterson just did this, and AJ DeBanza, and like, who is this like Greek 6'9" point guard that started to develop? I was watching his highlights. And I was like, yo, what's going on here? Like, why is there a 6'9" a player from Greece who was handling the ball like crazy and doing step back jumpers and stuff? Like, is this, I mean, like what's happening here? There's lots of like nice prospects in this draft, but yeah, Raptors, I don't think we're in that mix. And by the way, like, you look at some of the teams at the bottom of the standings, like there's some teams that are like, how like people in Toronto line up early and queue up for basically anything. Like, yeah, we got some early people queuing up, man. In the Eastern Conference alone, Washington 1-11, Indiana 1-10. That one's been a shock, to be honest. But damn, Brooklyn 1-10. Like when we watched that Brooklyn game, I'm like, Raptors played like 30% at their capacity. They still win by double digits. Like, New Orleans 2-9, Dallas 3-9, Sacramento 3-9, LA Clippers 3-8. Like, I'm just saying, teams are queuing up. They're saving me a spot basically. So I think we've already missed the boat. If you're not one of the people that are willing to line up for like 24 hours, like come in with a tent, like Washington's like pitched a tent basically in front of the draft lottery. Like they shouldn't even have to play the rest of their games. They should be able to sim the rest of the season. And with all due apologies, obviously I know Liban's very partial to the two Canadians over there, Keyshawn George and Will Riley, two players he's followed really closely, got to know their families, cover them at the NBA draft. Like, trust me, I know how much you love these Canadian players, but they can sim the rest of the season, okay? No one needs to watch the next 70 games of CJ McCollum playing, first option hoops. Like, trust me, because I've seen some Washington. I'm like, yo, why is CJ McCollum number one option in this game? I was watching the game where they played against the Pistons, and I'm like, is this seriously CJ McCollum going shot for shot with Cade Cunningham? Like, that's crazy to me, man. So, anyway, yeah. I'm sorry, man. We missed our shot, basically. We're gonna have to settle for having a good team. Is it just me, or has Scotty's passing also taken a big jump this year? Yeah, I think some of the riskier passes, I just don't see as many of them. You know what I mean? Like I think last year you saw, I think maybe more lackadaisical play in general. I think his focus overall has been great. I think his ability to pass has always been there. It's really smart. The last game, by the way, I thought about it afterwards. I was like, there was that pass where Scotty threw it. No, Jakob tried to throw a lob to Scotty, and then Scotty tapped it right back to Jakob, like midair. Like he caught one up for the lob. Two guys went up with him trying to block the shot, and he tapped it back to Jakob, and Jakob finished the dunk. I was like, I don't even remember every single play like that. You know, like that's such a rare big to big pass moment. But like midair tap pass is genius. Like that's freaking genius. But I think it's just the focus. Like I think overall the focus, like he's not taking bad shots. He's, not taking possessions off. He's not, backing off when the game gets hard. He's like, he's just engaged. He's more and more engaged. And I think everything comes from that. Like the passing is kind of the same thing as well. So, but yeah, he's always been a great passer. There's no doubt. Yeah. 905 is going to be real good. I hope Walter gets some run down there. I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. I mean, if you're going to come back and let Ochai sort of establish a little bit of value trade-wise before the trade deadline, I don't think it's a bad time to then put, Ochai in the G League and see what he does there. Can we sign Tristan Thompson? He's a free agent. Or even a DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, by the way, has been signed. He is with the, New Orleans Pelicans. And again, the only reason I know this is because I've been watching Derek Queen highlights a lot, and or even games with Derek Queen. Last game he was really cooking. He had like 26 points. But yeah, DeAndre Jordan's like over there as well, and he cut his hair too. He looks much younger. Like Tristan Thompson, he's not allowed in Toronto. He knows why. Zach Lowe had his 10th in the league. 10th in the league for what? What's 10th in the league? Like overall standing wise? That's a weird way to talk about it. Or is this like watchability rankings? Because Zach's pretty partial. You know what I mean? His wife's from Toronto. He comes to Toronto every year. Grabs the guys in Toronto for a pod. Actually, by the way, I know Zach Lowe just did a live show in Minnesota where he talked to Chris Finch, the head coach, and Dante DiVincenzo came out too. In front of like a live audience. Like, yo, Zach, you come to Toronto, man. Let's do a live show. We could do a live show for you, man. We get the audience together. The number 1 and number 2 basketball podcast in Canada. You know what I mean? We always fight over that top spot. Like, let's stop fighting, man. Let's do it together, baby. No, but Zach would do a great live show in Toronto for sure. And it'd be around Christmas time too. We'll be free. We'll be free. We're gonna make it a freshman 20. Yeah. Segment idea for Jerome, Alex, and Will, ranking the worst opposing broadcasts. Ooh. Let's see. The Cavs might honestly be on there, man. Do not enjoy the Cavs broadcast. I don't know. I find them, I think I just don't like a couple things. I mean, I don't really like the Homer broadcast too much. Sometimes Raptors are guilty of this too. I won't even lie, but sometimes like it can get a little homery. Who else I don't like? I don't like I feel like the Clippers broadcast is kind of really boring to me. I never really see good moments from it. I actually don't like Eric Collins for the Hornets broadcast. I know he's like so over the top with the calls, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. Do I need this? Like, no, not really. It's like, oh, Miles Bridges with a monster jam, and I'm like, I don't care, man. Like, just chill out. Just, you know what I mean? Like, that's not for me personally. I know he's very popular. Who do I low-key enjoy? I like I like some of like the Detroit Pistons broadcast. I think it's George Blaha. I think he's done it for a really, really long time. I just like some of the older phrases that he uses. It's like a different vernacular from like a different time in basketball. What does he say for 3-pointers? Because I actually watch a decent amount of League Pass, so triple try. I think he says triple try a lot. I don't like the Rockets broadcast. I find that one pretty annoying. Pelicans broadcast, I actually kind of really do. Actually, I'm hit or miss with them, to be honest. Sometimes I get really annoyed at Antonio Daniels. He feels like he tries too hard sometimes. There's obviously the game where Grady Dick played, or it's Raptors versus Pelicans, and he just refused to say Dick. I'm like, okay, like, aren't you 40? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, at a certain point, it's like, you're disrespecting the man. Like, Grady's down for a laugh. Grady's down to clown, but like, it's disrespectful at certain points, man. Just because his name's Grady Dick, you can't say Dick is crazy, man. But I actually do generally enjoy their broadcast. Actually, I really like the play-by-play guy. The Portland play-by-play crew I really like as well. Honestly, the Lakers crew is pretty good. Like, they've always had good broadcasts. So actually, to be honest, I guess my conclusion of this, I actually enjoy them more than average. I find the Heat broadcast to be a little homery as well. They also have some weird guests that they always throw to a halftime. I guess every local place has their like go-to guys that you may not know unless you're from there. Like, I'm sure people are watching like a Raptors broadcast, like internationally, they're like, wait, who's Leo Routins? Or like, who's Sherman Hamilton? You know what I mean? You'd have to really know Canada basketball, obviously, to know like who they are and how important they are to the conversation. But, you know, to like a novice, I'm like, okay, I probably don't know who those guys are. Who else? Yeah, I feel like Nets broadcast gets brought up as a good one all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's because the Nets are so unwatchable. I don't really find them that enjoyable either. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Pretty sure Lowe had us 11th in the East. Fred Katz is 10th in the East, if I'm not mistaken. I'm, yeah. It's, I mean, whatever. I look, the thing is, it's not even like we're like, this team's going to be amazing and like, how does no one see it? We're just like, yo, this team's going to be like above average. And we couldn't even get above average, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, I think they kept saying we're a 30-win team. I mean, you know. Who else, man? Who else we got? Let's take a couple more and then we'll wrap up. I appreciate you guys for chilling. This has clearly been like a really, really fun one. Nick Richards. Nick Richards has been pretty huge for Phoenix, man. So I don't know if we. Oh, not Nick Richards. Sorry, Mark Williams has been really huge for Phoenix. Nick Richards, I just don't really think he's much of a guy. I don't know. Like I would leave more defensively. Also I mean, I guess everyone was really high on Malawak, and I liked a lot of what Malawak did, but like he basically doesn't even play for them anymore. Like, I mean, I guess Phoenix has a lot of centers, even after waiving Ayton, but I don't know, man. But yeah, they love the small ball look with Osei Gadar. Also, the Suns. I gotta tap in a little bit to the Suns. How are they 7-5? By the way, I think they're gonna win against the Pacers today too. So they might be 8-5. Like they're gonna have a better record than the Raptors playing in the West as well. That's gotta be one of the big surprises, to be honest. RJ and Ochai for AD rumor floated. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, speaking of freshman 15s, I mean, what's the AD like? That's yeah. I don't know, man. I don't want to give up more picks. That's the thing. I'd rather make a smaller tweak, to be honest. I'd rather make a smaller tweak. And also, what does that mean? We're putting Jakob as the backup, or we're putting Jakob in that trade as well. I mean, AD is fantastic. Obviously, when healthy, AD. I don't know. It's a big gamble. I actually want to see how this team plays for a bit too. Maybe ask me again at trade deadline. Maybe at that time, maybe I'm more interested. But I also think, what's the rumor? AD wants to go to Chicago. He's from Chicago. That'd be kind of cool. I would like that for him, to be honest. Any comment on Scotty's rim protection today? There's the play where Cavs had 3-on-1. 3v Scotty and Donovan passed a layup since Scotty's right in the paint. I mean, it's incredible, dude. The fact that he's like a fantastic defender at every spot of the floor is like, this is the thing. Like, if we're going to try to gas up like what guys can theoretically do, like, the scope of what Scotty can theoretically do is bigger than the scope of what Evan Mobley can theoretically do. Like, it just is. Like, you know, so whatever. I guess I don't really care that much about this matchup. Isn't Washington Alex's team for this season? I guarantee you Alex Wong not watching the Washington Wizards, man. You think Alex Wong is sitting at home watching Washington Wizards? There's no way. There's no way. Imagine we had that Pacers pick. Yeah, I mean, imagine we didn't have Brandon Ingram, man. We had the same team as we had last year. So, like, yeah. It's always fun to draft, like dream on, like, young guys. And I hear that, too. I totally hear that. But, you know. Yeah. Professional win by Scotty. Yo, it's been a lot of professional wins by Scotty, man. I don't think I've had one complaint all year about, like, since this regular season started. Obviously, preseason was a little like, what was happening, but like he's been on it, man. He's been absolutely on it. So it's been a fun one. So, yo, the Low Show versus Hello and Welcome. I mean, yeah, the Zach Lowe Show. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Because usually we're going back and forth 1 and 2 in the standings for overall Canada basketball podcast rankings or whatever. Let me check my bank account this morning. God damn it, Zach's above us again today. Ugh. Zachary. No, man. Who? No, it's an honor to even be in the conversation. Let's just say that much. So that'd be kind of huge. Let me find where was the last time I screenshotted the standings. I'll show you guys as well, because I dropped them into the chat with the boys. Hold on. No, that was us 11th in Canada basketball, Canada sports podcast rankings. That was pretty good. I don't need to show you this. Who cares? You guys can look at it yourselves. yeah, this is fun, man. This is really fun. Will recruiting low like Sexton recruiting LeBron? Yo, I mean, I'm just saying we have reached out to him many times, man. And before with ESPN, it was like pretty difficult to get him, but maybe he doesn't. You know what I mean? Oh, what if Jama goes to New York? Hey, listen, I saw one of these rumors from Mark Stein during the game, so I didn't actually look through it. But obviously, the New York Liberty have a vacancy at head coach. The Tempo just added Sandy Brandello, their former head coach. So apparently, one of the 3 finalists is Jama. So we'll see, man. But Jama, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Jama is a fantastic coach, and I think he's gonna get a shot eventually somewhere. He's just such a likable guy. Like he's got to be one of the most likable people, I think, in the NBA. And he's also a very smart guy as well. It's not just like he's everyone's friend type of thing, but he's had a great career too, man. He's like worked in Golden State, won a chip there, obviously won a chip in Toronto. He's now a lead assistant. Like the next step for him is to get a head coaching position somewhere. He's been, I think, 905 head coach as well, if I'm not did he? He was, right? I think he was. So yeah. Hopefully he doesn't leave. But if he gets promoted, I will wish nothing but happiness for Jama. Will he take Pat Delaney with him? Yeah, what do you got to say now, huh? The defense improves. All of a sudden I don't hear no slander for Pat Delaney. Oh man. People killing the assistant coach is very, very funny to me. It doesn't really matter, but it's just people are like, we need Pat. When I start to see Pat Delaney's resume on the timeline, I'm like, guys, what are we doing, man? Anyway, whatever. I like Pat, man. I like Pat, Shout out to PD. They call him PD, like he's PD Pablo or something. It's crazy. Okay, that's enough. That's enough for the chat here. Yeah. Jama did two seasons as head coach of the 905 as well. That is right. Okay, let's get to let's wrap up here. I think we've gone on long enough. It was fun, but honestly, it is still just a good win in the middle of November. So let's get the 3 stars from this game. First star goes to Scotty Barnes. Let me play. Where's the drop? We had the drop from a couple years ago with Serge Ibaka saying Scotty Barnes. Do we have that? We don't have that in here anymore. Tough. Well, anyway, yeah. So Scotty Barnes, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, plus 18 in the game, 12 of 22 from the field. Just fantastic. 5 blocks, a steal. Just like was again had like the best player on offense and the best player on defense. Like just really, really impressive in this one. Second star, I'm gonna get to IQ. IQ's been on a real roll recently, but 25 points, 6 assists. The supplementary scoring from him, the 10 of 13 from the field, 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. And then your third star, I'll give it to Jakob, 7 to 10 from the field, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals for 20 points. I thought he did a great job. Again, like against these bigger teams, you definitely need somebody in there to sort of fight with some of these guys. So I thought he did a great job of that today. So salute to you, Jakob. And 3 assists as well. That's the thing too. Like I thought Jakob constantly calling for the ball and trying to direct the offense when it got slow. Like just thought he really enjoyed it, man. Gerald Henderson award should go to the refs. Yeah, I mean, certainly it was a bit annoying, but honestly, I do think that most times Donovan Mitchell was actually fouled. It just kind of got ridiculous at certain points, but I'm gonna give the Gerald Henderson award to Nae'Qwan Tomlin, man. That guy was, it's very rare when I watch an NBA games where I'm like, I just don't know who this guy is, and they had 2 of them today. I mean, Nae'Qwan actually played a lot of the games, so now I know who he is. But like Luke Travers got in the game, like I thought this got to be one of those random country artists that Lindsay interviews all the time on Instagram. all love to Lindsay, we love you, Linz, but come on. But yeah, Luke Travers feels like somebody's walk-up song in on the Blue Jays or something. But no, Nae'Qwan Tomlin was super aggressive, flying all over the place. Just a live, active body. 18 points, 6 rebounds, including 5 on the offensive end, 8 of 10 from the field. Was fantastic. Honestly, I do feel bad that Jamal didn't get anything here because I thought Jamal was just like arguably their best player in the first. Well, not best player, but was so impactful. Like I mentioned, single-handedly leading a 9-0 run and then leading a 7-0 run. But second half belonged to some of these other guys, and I think IQ ultimately. I mean, that 1-2 punch again. Other people are like, "Oh, we should start Jamal." It's like, no. When IQ comes around, it's gonna be a nice 1-2 punch because IQ could score like that. Jamal could pass it like that and defend. Like it's nice. It's nice having that depth at point guard, and it's nice seeing them play well together as well. It's a nice little innovation too by by Darko to go to those 2-point guard lineups. So that was great. So yeah, it's a good problem to have when we don't have enough people. We don't have enough stars to sort of attribute how many players played well. So appreciate it. Oh, last question here from Clayton. Did you and or Alex see Mamu's pregame Sopranos hoodie? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Mamu wore a Sopranos hoodie pregame? First off, what? Weren't they just in New York? Wouldn't you wear this in New York rather than wearing it in Cleveland of all places? But let me look at their. Is there a post from like pregame today of like what they wore? Or can someone link me that or something so we can bring it up in the chat? Because I would have loved to seen that, man. You tell me we got to see a Sopranos reference and a Garrett Temple appearance in the same game? That's awesome, man. That would have been great. So, yeah. Okay, if we do find it, we'll show you on the 6-pack tomorrow. So, anyway, tomorrow we will come in with the NBA 6-pack. I'll see if I can find time to do a 10 plays. If I can, I'll put something together. Certainly, it was very, very exciting in this game. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out. This was a really nice win. And, yeah, hopefully you guys like the stream. And, tell Zach Lowe he should do a pod with us. That's all. Appreciate you guys. Let's see you guys tomorrow and then also Saturday.